Welcome back to the Kirk Miller podcast. Today I have an absolute savage sat beside me, Mustafa Sener. I've spoken about this man on multiple different podcasts when I've referenced high performers, our best clients. He's our current client of the year, aren't you? Client of the year, double trophy winner, but just an absolutely unbelievable human being. Obviously, we want to be very protective of his time today, but he is, without question, the most consistent client I've ever coached in 15 years. And look, we work with some absolute monsters. But not only alongside that, what's even more impressive, and I think is going to add so much value today with some of the questions we're going to ask him, is married, 2 kids. I mean, you've been on more planes. I mean, what was the stat you said to me about Mustafa? And Mustafa Sener, by the way, an absolute legend. What was the stat you said about Mars? You've been to Mars and back. What was it?
No, I have an app where I'm following or recording all my flights, and it was in the last 6 years I flew like 4.1 times to the Mars back and forth. So it was very interesting to see the mileage I was flying and in the air basically.
Yeah, and that's literally like, to add some context, because obviously this is, some people are going to be listening on podcast and then some people watching us on YouTube. This isn't just like, is it Europe? Because obviously you're based in Hamburg. This isn't like Europe to the UK. This is like across
the entire world. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, to give some context, what age did you first reach out to me? It seems like we've known each other for a hell of a long time, but was it 48, 49?
Yes, exactly. So first of all, thank you very much for having me.
Sorry, yeah, back to front. I mean, listen, brace yourself. Some amazing. Me and him do not stop. The energy is so powerful, but. Yeah, of course, grateful to have you.
Yeah, when I found you, basically, I was 48 years old. It was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was very interesting. I was really looking for taking the advantage of having now a little bit grounded and not travel a lot, to see what can I now really do in order to improve my health and find a proper routine. And really eat, sleep in the same location, in the same bed, and to improve. And I was, 48 years old. And I would say I was not really, in a way, unhealthy. But what I have tried in all these years, and I did a lot of sports, as you know.
What sport you played? Lots of football, didn't you?
I love football a lot for many, many years. And I tried a lot of other things with mountain biking, motocross, a little bit more extreme sports in my career, so to speak. And was always a very active human being across all different ages. Tried a lot of things, and always with one objection, is to really stay healthy, stay fit, and get the energy that I really wanted on a daily basis, basically. And to have the positive energy and, to fulfill my day with, if it's a business task, if it's a family task, if it's a personal task, whatever we are doing in our lives, to really get the best out of the day. And I'm a very detail-oriented person, to trying to get the most out of pretty much everything if possible. And of course, on the 24 hours, energy was my goal, basically.
Yeah, exactly that. Mustafa, even when we first connected and he joined the program, the natural energy I've not really seen before. So for those listening to this, and this might relate to a lot of people who are at the top of their game in business and achieved a hell of a lot like you have, Mustafa, you weren't a demotivated individual. You were anything but that. But like many people, and for many people even listening to this now, you just didn't know how to optimize training, food, lifestyle management, especially when you are traveling and things like that. But what was the biggest challenge? I mean, what was the biggest challenge? Because obviously, you know, being at Kunanaga for a number of years, like what was the biggest challenge when it comes to looking after you?
The biggest challenge for me, it was always like knowledge and structure.
Knowledge around what? Like food, training, bit of both?
About literally the workout, the movements, the nutrition, the food, the sleep impact, literally everything that is impacting the health, impacting the energy, that to get knowledgeable and then try all these different things that are out in the market with personal trainer, with nutrition plans, with different diets, with different sports. I mean, I went all the way crazy going to CrossFit when I was based here in Dubai. Actually.
Share your experiences on that, because I've spoke about that before. I personally don't believe, unless you are genuinely a supreme athlete background, even then, 40s, 50s and 60s, I just don't think it's the smartest way to train.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely underline this, that I was... as I said, I go always full in, and I really was training pretty much 5 times a week in CrossFit. Started really at a complete beginner's level, advanced in a way that all the way that I injured my shoulder. So it went all the way up to handstands and a handstand push-up. And one time I really pushed it too hard and really injured my shoulder. So I really tried, knowledgeable wise, tried everything to find out what is the best way, if it's running, if it's all the way extreme CrossFit or cycling, mountain biking, whatever that is, and to really have a regular and a common and an easy lifestyle that can really get the highest energy for myself. And I didn't have that structure around it. So I learned a lot. I gained a lot of knowledge, what works, what doesn't work. But once I found you, the knowledge is definitely on a complete different level to really understand how workouts, movements, nutrition, sleep, recovery, all these key aspects that is required for a healthy, physical body or a healthy mindset. That knowledge went definitely to a different level. Absolutely, that was lacking, basically. I thought I know a lot of things, but after I got into your program, after I saw all the details, all the plans and the nutrition details and how things work together, and that was connecting the dots, was the life-changing experience I have had with you. And of course, the structure that your program has today is definitely something that it's world class. I think without the structure and of course the knowledge, and then on top of that the environment that you're getting in. So the structure that is around the Build to Last program is absolutely top level. It's impossible to fail, if you will. It's impossible not to increase your energy, improve your feeling, and as a byproduct, you get an amazing body. So your body shape is also changing, respectively. Basically, it's amazing.
And give people a little bit of context as well. Like over the last 3 decades, a typical week, because it's okay going. We've given you the structure for training and food, but give people a little bit of context of how many hours on an average week, factoring in travel as well, you would be engaged working in work or in and around business.
Yeah, sure. Like you mentioned, I have a beautiful family, 2 beautiful kids, and my beautiful wife. Of course, you have your family life, which is very busy, as everyone can appreciate. But then, of course, I've been in a corporate world for over 20 plus years, lived in different countries, in different positions, which always required a number of travel amount. It was from 20-30% of your months all the way up to 60-70% of your month. So that 2 weeks or 2.5 or 3 weeks of your monthly work hours you are traveling. If it's on a national basis, if it's on a regional basis, and the last 5 years on a global basis, it's really a life where pretty much the 24 hours have to be completely optimized, have to be completely planned in order to get the maximum out from your professional, from your work that you have to fulfill and perform accordingly for the company that you work for, but also for your family and friends to be, available and present when you're with them. And the life was really planning, struggling to balance all these balls in the air, be it the family, be it the work, be it the friends. And of course, in that journey, there are a lot of ups and downs where you are experiencing certain, issues in with health of family,
Life.
life, and so forth. So you have, a lot of stressy moments, month, and so forth. So it is a very hectic, busy, stressful environment. And naturally, I was always putting the sport and the health in a second priority or third priority. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next week. I will do it then. And that was pretty stressful, I have to say.
Was that down to obviously the demands, especially in that corporate world and with the amount of travel? I mean, how many people, not people, but I mean, there must be millions struggling with that, right? That have these work demands that traveling.
Exactly.
But they put themselves at the bottom of the pile, and I know we spoke before we got on this podcast. The amount of people that rely on stimulants and coffee, and then you got drinks in the evening. It's like a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
I mean, that must fuck people up.
Absolutely. What was the biggest challenge, Kirk, was definitely the nutrition piece, that the nutrition understanding, the recovery, and the movement. They're all three aspects. And of course, in the recovery, I keep the sleep in, which is very important. That knowledge was pretty much not on the level that I have today. And that was a struggle because you are flying to a different time zone. And then you are in a different, time zone where you are again operating, very focused, concentrated, because you are there for a certain business, for a certain task, to meet customers, to grow the business, to do all these activities that you are really focusing on. And if you don't have that knowledge of how can you get the maximum out of your energy, and then putting some sugary stuff into your body to get your energy up, or drink coffee or espressos till the late afternoons, in the evenings, or after the dinner, all that knowledge was not there, and that caused, of course, that you are tired, your focus, your concentration is not at the maximum that you can get out of a Mustafa, basically. And I was really trying to get more out of myself in order to give more, if it's to the business, if it's to the family, if it's to friends. And that lifestyle created, of course, situation where I was tired. When I came on the weekend, when the weekend came, I was literally exhausted. I need the 2 days to recover, to recharge, that I can continue on the Monday again.
But then as a result of that, how can you? I mean, a lot of us look. I'm not perfect here. You're not either. No one is. Even all the clients we work with in Built to Last. But I really believe a lot of people forget why they are chasing success and wealth and apparent freedom when they're chasing these things. But if they don't have the energy to enjoy the fruits of the labour and be present, have that confidence, and have that presence with family, then what's the point?
100%, Kirk. And this was a major eye-opener for me, I have to say. After I joined you and your team, I literally realized that, we are focusing on all these elements that you just mentioned, but without health, without having the energy, without being able to really execute in order to achieve these goals and targets and wishes and dreams that we all have, it is impossible. And that is something that I can tell to anybody, to the listeners, to all the network, the people I know. And without a healthy body, a healthy mindset, it is definitely more challenging to reach goals and targets. If it's professional, if it's personal, it really doesn't matter. But the health aspect has, absolutely became a much, much higher priority for my life, which led to, after I joined your program, is definitely I made one clear decision that I put into my lifestyle, is that on the 24 hours we have on a day, that 1 hour of that 24 hours is mine, and that is dedicated for my workout, for my sports, or for my walks, whatever that is. And that was a non-negotiable, goal, that 1 hour that I implemented early morning time to myself, that I said, okay, my health is the most critical one, and if I get this under control and get the positive energy and the focus and the concentration, I can be good at in my profession, I can be better in my personal life, and be much more and enjoy every single day and
yeah,
moment.
when it all comes down to it as well, Mustafa, it's you're going to be happier. You're going to be happier.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. But
Yeah.
what? Because again, it'll probably relate to a lot of the listeners. What would you typically do before as part of your routine? So I know when you first kicked up with us, like you just said, it was just a non-negotiable that first hour was you, and you even said, didn't you, any assistants and team and client, that's my time. Basically, it's blocked off. That's non-negotiable. What were you doing before? Would you dive straight into work? Was it like what did a morning look like before?
I mean, I'm not lacking of any discipline or consistency.
No, I know that. He's the most disciplined guy we've ever worked with. No, but it's just like it's routine and and again, sorry to interrupt there. It's you're that passionate about delivering and everything you're doing that was it simply a case of right, you just wanted to deliver, get up and seize the day in work, for example?
The priorities were on a wrong order, I would say. It's as simple as this. I prioritized, certain things, unfortunately not knowing in the wrong order that I started working or doing whatever emails or, eating at the wrong time or not sleeping enough. I mean, the allocation of amount and energy for the work, for the workouts, for the sleep, or whatever we have to do, the prioritization and the amount allocation was completely.
So were you working out later in the day, or was it just whenever
Exactly.
you could, or it might happen if I'm still got the energy after work?
Exactly. So I was scheduling. I do first of all the work, the family, all that stuff, and then I have the hour. I go in the afternoon or late evening into the gym or do a run and get the head. And I can tell you, out of 10 times, you're doing it 2 times. Or if you are very good 3 times or 4 times, that is not happening. And then you don't know when to eat, what to eat. So then also all the nutrition does not support that you can run at 7 p.m. another 5K or 8K run. So all that not knowing exactly how to fuel, the body and having the wrong priority was my lifestyle in the past, and that caused, of course, slowing me down. Caused, I was tired, not 100% focused all the time. To get focused, another espresso here or another little chocolate bar here. So, and these are the things that, kept me going, which was wrong because in the long run, the health is going to be not very positive, the impact of it, basically.
In not even just the corporate world, just in general, how much of a problem do you think that is, that people are neglecting health, from your experience?
I don't know number or percentage, but what I see, if I travel the world, if I, look around, it is unfortunately a very high amount of people that are, I would call it now, having a unhealthy lifestyle, and of course in that corporate or in any business world, in the socializing as well, in the personal world as well. In your habits, you have also a lot of, when you dine and wine, you also have, sometimes that you are drinking a glass of wine too many maybe, or you shouldn't drink because the next day you have this and that, so it impacts your sleep. And if I look around, the lifestyle that I see is definitely on a level which the humanity is going into a direction which is on a very unhealthy lifestyle, unfortunately. And I wish I could help, thousands of people. I wish I can help so many million people to learn and get into a structure. Even if it's a 5% improvement on their health, I guarantee everyone on the long run, this is benefiting, everybody. And that is something I can tell you from my experience that I see, unfortunately, the amount is still too high, and it's growing. And also from the small kids, that they are not moving enough, not maybe eating, and the nutrition is not.
How important is a parent's role in influencing your children's health habits?
From my personal experience, super important. I can give you my example, partly of it, of course. I mean, as I mentioned, I have two beautiful children. My son is now going to turn by the end of this year 18. My daughter is 15. She's turning next year 16. And when they saw me, when I started 3 years ago with you, when they saw me now changing my lifestyle, if you will, and going into different habits and prioritizing, the nutrition, the workout, the sleep, and so forth, without me telling them or asking them to do the same, or like, don't eat this, we didn't really say anything. And naturally my son started all of a sudden also, we have a small little gym in our house, also to lift a little bit weight and look at me and what to do, or start running with me as well. Or my daughter started, can I do a little bit Pilates? And maybe you remember at the very beginning when I started on the Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. in Hamburg.
Yeah, we do a virtual Pilates session.
My daughter, she said, Daddy, can I join? I said, sure. And she joined me like so many sessions, and without saying anything. And if I look to my children right now, the knowledge they have about nutrition, and if I look at their age peer, and if I talk to them, I'm very proud to say that their knowledge is really on the high level without really teaching, telling, or forcing anything on them. It's just watching my lifestyle or seeing my lifestyle. I feel they have, taken some good pieces out of it, and I'm very proud how healthy their lifestyle is today without really telling it. And that's another byproduct that you're influencing your loved ones around you in a very positive way that is priceless, pretty much.
Yeah, just from leading by example.
Exactly.
Just by leading by example. Now, I can't get you on this podcast, mate, without talking a little bit, well, not a little bit, I'll try and keep it as tight as I can, around mindset and productivity, because I've actually used you as an example, and I know you've had, even though I'm no Mustafa Sener by any means when it comes to organisation, far from it, I don't know anyone who is. But your mindset is bulletproof, as are our top guys inside Built to Last. But your productivity and efficiency, it sort of has to be with the lifestyle you've had for the last 3 decades. Like, if we were to sort of whittle down, what is the number one thing, or 1 to 3 things that you feel you could share with the listeners that helps you with productivity on a week-to-week basis, in terms of just how can I get my work in? How can you get your training in? Eat your food, forward plan, socialise, time for that. How do you do it? What is the thing you particularly do? Is it a certain thing you do with your planning, or a certain day, or what are the main tips you can share?
There are 2 main parts I can mention or I can share. Is the first one is definitely the planning.
But specifically though, because that's quite a broad subject.
Yes.
What do you do?
Yeah, the planning. What I do is I call it always proactive and pre-planning and preparing anything proactively for the next step, for the next day, for the next week. So I start, to give you an example, I start really at the year end, in the last quarter of every year. I have a simple sheet where I look at my 12 months and I block in those 12 months what are the key events that I already know, the birthdays.
From what year? So say, for example...
So now in November, December, I will look at 2024, for instance. By the end of this year, for next year, 2024, I sit down on a nice Saturday or Sunday, and then I block basically what are the key events. Like in 2024, my wife will turn a certain
birthdays.
Birthday. My daughter gets into her sweet 16 and so forth. And so we plan, of course, we block certain days, the vacations already, some certain events like your event. It's going to be as soon as I know. When are you planning your next April event and so forth. So I block those events. I really make a yearly plan. And from the yearly plan, I break it down to a quarterly. And then every end of a quarter, I look at the following quarter and see what is, on the plan. Is it still in the same days? Do I have to shift and move? And then the same methodology I apply from a month-to-month basis, and the same from a week-to-week basis. So every end of the week, I always pre-plan the following week pretty much. So where I'm going to sleep, in which hotels, where I'm going to fly, where do I do my workouts?
Yeah.
How do I get my right nutrition at the right time? Can I eat clean? How many steps can I do? Am I on a very long intercontinental flight, or it's on a short flight? So I literally plan on a Sunday or a Saturday, literally for a few minutes, a very high level, where do I do and what do I do in order to organize everything. So that's a really high, and then every day I look at the following day, because things change, the planning change, something happens, cancels and so forth. And then of course it goes all the way down that in the evenings, I prepare literally to my clothes.
Please share this. It's absolute gold. And I know there's going to be some people that think this man's a madman, but please share that, what you do to get prepared for the gym the next day. Because I mean, when we joke with Mervet about this, I mean, it's I don't know anyone who does this.
Yeah, I'm literally preparing, in the evening, my workout clothes already. It's right there, and my work clothes, what I have to wear. So when I go to bed, when I wake up the next morning, I know exactly. I get my gym stuff first, go to my workout, and then I don't have to think the next morning. It's already prepared and planned everything the evening before. Basically.
But because you don't want to wake Mervet up, do you do this in the dark, right?
Yes, I mean, well, I am also very organized, as you know, so I can literally go in my house to the wardrobe and pick the shirt, the t-shirt, the short in dark, and then blindfolded without really opening and turning in any light or anything, because I am also very organized and disciplined to put everything on its right spot.
Yeah, share some context on that, because people might think, oh, that's a bit obsessive, but
well,
that saves you so much time, because you're not wasting bandwidth on it.
Exactly. So what I have a habit of that. Everything has a place. So if it's my key, my phone, my bag, or whatever I have has always a place in my house or in that environment that I am. And I always know without thinking, okay, my keys are there, my phone is here, my bags are there. So I don't have to think or look around and waste my energy or my time to look for things. I'm really using a strategy where everything has a plan. I know everything. So anything goes, let's say for a shirt, goes into, in the washing.
Yeah.
And then I take that, and literally my wife is not allowed to put it in the wardrobe. I am putting it in there that I can remember. Otherwise, I'm really screwed, if you will, messed up a little bit with, I will be lost to find the shirt.
No, but it's just time, it's efficiency. I know that sounds mental, and look, I'm better at that, but not perfect. But you must save so much time on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. If you accumulate the time, I mean, even for myself, because I'm not that polished, the minutes, the hours, they stack up, right? Especially when you're trying to factor in business and training and food and life and relationships.
Absolutely. It's saving the time is one thing, Kirk, but the other thing is also that the actions you are doing in that particular day, in that moment, you are much more focused and not distracted. If I wake up in the morning and I have to think about what do I wear now today, what is on the agenda, what do I have to wear a tie today because I have a business meeting with a customer or not, and that is the focus, and the time is what is literally wasted unnecessarily, and that I can use really for doing a workout or doing the better job or preparing for my meeting more thoroughly and sharper and more focused. Exactly. And that is, it's the time, but also the focus and the energy and the concentration is much sharper, clearer, that you can definitely get most out of that event, whatever you are doing. If it's a social event, if it's a business event, whatever you are having on your agenda, basically.
Yeah. I mean, because all of us feel better when we get more done. I speak about this all the time, but I mean, that must, if you accumulate probably how much more you've got done over the last 30 years in business, that must have helped. You go through the gears in business as well, right?
100%. If I sometimes reflect, I'm trying to do every day, but sometimes it's very difficult. But on the end of the day or end of the week, I always reflect what was happening in the past day, in the past week, what did I accomplish. And sometimes I'm right now in the last 3 years surprised how many things I got done, and
Yeah.
and look at your coaching app, how many
Yeah.
steps I have done, how many
Yeah.
this have I mean, it's really amazing how the productivity improvement
Yeah.
is increasing, but also how I enjoy the moment more, because it's more, you are clear while you're doing that. Your mind is not, have I prepared, for the next meeting? Have I prepared for the next event or whatever? So it's literally very well organized, structured, and prepared, that your mind is really right there when you need it, basically.
And then, with regards to mindset, right? Because your mindset is relentless. I mean, there's going to be a lot of clients listening to this, and some of our newer clients, for example, might not have met or felt the Mustafa energy and intensity. But mindset-wise, what keeps you so consistent and focused? Like, what is the internal driver that keeps you going in business and body? Like, because I know a lot of people, and we've had a lot of clients over the years that struggle with this. I know a lot of people at the time of this going live, it's going to be around October, November. Motivation would have flaked off, whether it's in business or body. Like, what keeps you so consistent and driven, right? Because all of us have days, I'm sure you do too, where you wake up and you're, oh God, I got to work today. I've got to train. Like, even I openly admit, half a week, some days I don't want to train, but you got to do it. But what drives you?
It's pretty much what drives me is very clearly having a clear why am I doing such thing. The why is, and seeing the why, smelling the why, touching the why on a frequent, daily, weekly, hourly basis, to have it in your face and not to forget, why am I doing this? And of course, during that journey, there's always a voice in everybody's head that said, "Don't do this. Stay in bed, or don't go out running now in the rain." Like in Hamburg, there rains a lot, so and have
because you've rocked up on many Zooms with the yellow jacket.
My yellow rain jacket.
Absolutely pouring down.
Yeah. So the one key part is the why, having it in front of your eyes very clearly, and then
when you say having it in front of your eyes, is there anything? And you might just have, because you're that driven, you might have that in your psyche, but you're saying having that in front of your eyes. I know you joked, didn't you, once on a Zoom to the Built to Last Army about, I can't say it in your accent, about draw the fucking Y on the mirror.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, there are different ways. People are having it on their phones, on
reminders,
on phones, or every morning when you wake up and look in your mirror, put a sticker note there, or put it on your laptop, on your computer, on your wardrobe, in your car. Put some reminders that reminds you all the time, and that's what I mean with having in your face. If you're forgetting or distracted, if you see that why, it really helps you to stay, I call it disciplined. Yeah. And the discipline is always this inner voice says, don't run today, you can run tomorrow, or don't go to the gym today, you can do it tomorrow. That helps you to tell the inner voice, be quiet. I will do it because I want to accomplish this. I'm doing this because of that. So the discipline, and of course, it is very, very crucial to have the right habits, in smaller steps, cycles. You change your habit, and that habit will lead you to major accomplishments. It's like, if you really start, I give the example always, start running a marathon. You cannot run from today, tomorrow, a marathon. You have to start with the first 1K and then the second K. So it's really the habits implementing in your life, in your routine, and then stay consistent and execute your plan.
Yeah.
So if you plan and stay consistent, if you just execute it,
Yeah.
if it's a good day, if you don't feel tired or you feel tired, it doesn't matter, because you have your why in front of you. You just execute it, and I can guarantee anybody, as soon as you do this, you feel much more energized, much more fulfilled with that action that you have done, that you felt, I don't want to get out of the out of the sofa, and really do it, basically.
What is your why?
My why?
Yes.
My why is to really having a very, very healthy life, that I can be the best Mustafa for my family, for my wife, for my kids, in my business environment, in my friends, that when I'm present with another human being or another business or another friendship that I can give the best out of it and don't feel, tired or don't feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
It's simply having a healthy life that I can enjoy every day, every week, every month, as long as possible. It's not a long life, it's a long healthy life. So the longevity is really I can enjoy. I'm now over 50, in the early 50s.
Yeah, but for those, and please check this out, right? Mustafa is at the top of my Instagram page, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying this. You look significantly younger now than in your 40s, in my opinion. With the difference in nutrition, the more sleep awareness and the training.
Yes. Yeah.
We're all going to age, right? But
yes. Minus the grey hair, but yeah.
but we're all going to age, but surely these lifestyle habits have made a massive difference in terms of the vitality of even things like skin.
100%. I mean, especially the nutrition part, the combination between nutrition, movement, and sleep knowledge. These three, and of course, drinking enough water and all that stuff it's life changing. It's literally life changing, and that I use the word all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you changed my life.
It's a collective thing. There's me. We have a phenomenal team in the community. I mean,
yes, you and your team.
Yeah,
if I say you, it's the Kirk Miller and the team.
Yeah.
The whole setup that you have created is a life changing experience, which made me a healthier person, and that's my why. I want to be healthy. I want to stay healthy. And also your build to last is exactly that, hits that why. It's not like just getting a personal trainer, getting in shape, and then after you stop, you fall back again into your old habits. No, it's really you are building it to stay. You are building it that lasts if you stick to that lifestyle that you know now. And I will never change. I mean, you will not get rid of me.
No, I get it. I mean, my whole philosophy, what is the point in being in shape once if you can't sustain it? What is the point in experiencing that new level of confidence and energy, but you can't sustain it? Because when you've tasted feeling good, looking a certain way, being able to influence, as you've touched on there, to the people you love and the people you're trying to influence in business, when you've tasted that, like, there's nothing more demoralizing than going back to square one or having a dip. And no one's perfect here, but
especially if I can add to this, especially the world, the life is getting faster and faster and faster, and this is of course also quite challenging on all the humans, how to keep up and so forth. So I truly believe that the health aspect is becoming more and more important to keep up with this speed, the noise, and everything around all the humans.
I think even competitiveness in business as well.
100%.
Because obviously a lot of large organizations, even smaller businesses, right? You need humans to help you operate that business. I know we've got AI and ChatGPT and all this stuff too, but ultimately there are people within organization or business at any level that are contributing towards success and more profits and all these type of things. But if the people within it aren't and energized, and I'm on about not just for a few weeks or a few months, but across a year, then I really believe that companies and businesses and entrepreneurs who are looking after or filling up their own cup, it's common sense. You're going to outwork competitors. You're going to get more done.
Yeah.
And when you get more done, you generally wealth and profits more follow. And I really believe that.
And the other benefit I have experienced is I feel much more comfortable and confident in my own skin with that lifestyle that I have for the last 3 years with you now. It's really a bonus that I don't want to miss this feeling. Feeling great in my own skin, feeling confident in my own skin. That is also motivating, quite honestly. So I love it.
Yeah, no, I get it. We'll wrap this up now, because I know you're very precious of your time. But what would you say to anyone who is, at the time of this, we're 9-10 months into the year, that when they look themselves in the mirror, that they're not happy with how they look, how they feel, they simply know there's more? What what would be your biggest advice to them? They're just on this hamster wheel, they're on it, they're off it, they just know there's more.
Yeah. My biggest advice is to really take the time and write down your why you want to be healthy. Yeah, that is, I think, extremely deep and powerful to know why do you want to be healthy. And if you are saying these are the reasons, the 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons, and then is really make a plan, how can you be or stay healthy? And there look for solutions. Sign up with Kirk Miller and his team to really understand, get the knowledge of how to get healthy, and then also find a structure that keeps you healthy.
Yeah.
Which also relates to creating the right environment, the right community that is also helping you to stay in a very healthy environment. So it's really your why it's important for you. Find the right structure, find the right solutions for you, and then plan accordingly, and then stay disciplined and execute it. It's as simple as this, basically.
Yeah. Just lastly, because I remember you when you did a Zoom for our Built to Last community around productivity, because everyone's got different things on how many things they do in a day. But you were very, very specific on X amount of things per day. Like, what do you think is a sweet spot? When people are, like, say, trying to execute a plan and get their training, their food, their business. Like, how many things a day, for example, do you think if people are right now listening to this and going, okay, I want to start and be more organized. How many things a day do you think is realistic? When you're setting priority days or priorities.
I mean, to change your lifestyle to a healthier level, I would say only 3 things. Literally only 3 things. It's plan your nutrition and know what you're putting into your mouth. Have that knowledge, have that structure, follow that nutrition plan accordingly. Make sure you are having the right movements. You know when to move, how much to move with the right amount and the right timing, basically. And the third one is to really know how to rest and sleep, which is, an underrated piece, that sleep, how important that is impacting your nutrition, your food intake, and then your workout move. So really prioritize these 3 things to make sure that you have your workout, your nutrition, and your sleep. If you focus on that, if you plan on this, this is definitely life-changing.
And then I have to share before we wrap this up, because I talk a lot about Built to Last. We've had lots of clients on and stuff like that. What do you think makes our Built to Last program and community different?
Well, for sure, first of all, you and the coaching team, the people that you have are top notch. I mean, really excellent people. I mean, everyone in the team is definitely extremely pleasant, knowledgeable. Fantastic to work with.
Thank you.
But the main thing that I can really distinguish, which is really exceptional, is the community, is the belonging to the same mindset people, to the same kind of people. They have the same objective. They have the same or similar whys. That is keeping your motivation. And as you said, you do have sometimes, certain days or weeks or months that you said, I have to do it again. And then you see a post from another customer, from another, team member that posts, I did this, and I said, oh, Mo, if he did it, I can do it as well. So the belonging, the community, the constant reminder, the structure that the Built to Last team has is absolutely world class. And that community, that belonging, the events that you do on a frequent basis, after I participate, I am so pumped. Not that I'm all pumped and motivated, but also the friendships, the people that we have, created out of your community is definitely priceless. It's top of the top, basically.
Thank
And
you.
that's the distinguished and the exceptional thing that you have created, Kirk.
No, thank you so much. Look, listen, just like I'm trying to do with this podcast, and especially bringing on monsters like yourself, Mustafa, it's just trying to add value, guys. So even if you listen to this and you don't work with us, even if you listen to every single podcast, you're going to have things you can implement immediately into your training, your food, your lifestyle management. But if you do work with us, other than eat the food and lift the weight, you'd have to be an absolute idiot not to change, And this man, as I said, he's testament that you can have a chaotic lifestyle in terms of logistics and travel and still have a partner and children to think about and have a life to think about. You can still be successful and do all these things, but it all comes down to, as you've just said, and this is my motivation too, is knowing emotionally what is the why, what is the driving force, and then it's a lot easier to implement the how. Okay.
And thank you, Kirk, also this opportunity to thank you for what you have created, what you have done. I mean, you have done an absolute phenomenal job, Kirk. So you are changing lives. And
Forever.
forever, and not only of the members that you have, but also the ripple effect that the children, the spouses, the loved ones, the friends that see them. So these are the additional positive impacts that you do into this world is something that I really, really appreciate from the bottom of my heart, that you are doing a fantastic job. And I just want to have a huge thank you for all the support that you have given, and how you have educated myself, and anything I can support, or our listeners that have any questions about my journey, more than happy to reach out. I'm more than happy to share more details, answer questions anybody has. I want to help people to get into a healthier lifestyle as well, basically.
No, 100%. Mustafa Sener, check him out on Instagram. I mean, we could talk for hours and I could squeeze you more, but thank you so much, Mustafa. Guys, absorb that mindset, absorb even the high performance planning tips, and but more importantly, just follow the example this man sets, because you will be, you'll be more successful. More importantly, you'll be happier, and even more importantly than that, you'll be an influence on everything and everyone in your life that you do what you do for. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.